Hello, everyone. Kathy Bowersox here, founder of Network in Action, West Chase Business Force, along with Quantum Leap Success Coaching. Today, I'm visiting with one of my great NIA, West Chase Business Force members, Joseph Tung. Joseph, welcome.
Hello.
Glad to have you here today. So Joseph is a great business attorney, and he works mostly with small to mid-sized business owners. Joseph, tell me a little bit more about what you do with your clients, how you help them, and how they benefit from working with you.
Sure. My practice is client focused. So what I do depends on the client, whether or not they're in a startup phase or in a growth phase, an exit phase, depends on what kind of legal challenges they're facing, and depends on their goals. So what I do first is, unlike a lot of attorneys that are focused on the problem, I'm generally looking for a solution. And so I spend a lot of time speaking with my clients, interviewing my clients, and processing them before we even get started on any legal work. Now, of course, if it's an emergency, we go ahead and address the emergency first, but mostly my practice is designed for long-term relationships and long-term growth and solutions for businesses.
That sounds terrific. So you work on really building relationships with your clients versus being transactional and just dealing with problems and issues as they come up. You look to be kind of a partner to them in their businesses.
That's correct. And our billing structure reflects that as well. So the standard attorney will probably bill you hourly. Some of them may charge you a flat fee, but what we do is we open that up for discussion. So if it's a subscription fee monthly, just to have an attorney available to support your business, if it is a flat fee for a specific project, or if it's an hourly fee because it's a very intense, requires immediate attention, we can adjust our fees as necessary. Our firm is very flexible, and our goal and our fees are always more competitive than any other big law firms that have senior attorneys that support them. And because, again, our goal is to support a long-term relationship for growth in the business.
So what are some of the typical issues that you help your clients with?
Most of the issues I help them with, for most startups, there are a lot of very affordable, easy kits that you can apply to. So most of the startups is just for me providing some general business advice. I also sit on CEO roundtables and other advisory boards that allow me to provide that advice. It's not legal advice and it's not attorney-client. It's just general advice that's good to know. Once we get to the point where you're actually facing legal issues, most of the things that face a business problem are going to be cash flow, people, and then outside either customers or third parties or the government. And so generally speaking, most of the issues I hear about first are people, dealing with employees. And then the second one is going to be our cash flow and financials and contracts and these kind of things that support the business. The last category is fairly small because it's only when there's things that go wrong. So if there's litigation or the government is trying to stop the business or some kind of issues, those are rare and they shouldn't be happening very frequently. The first two is people and, of course, the finances.
You know, as a strategic business advisor, one of the things I hear most from small businesses as well is people. That is every business owner's biggest challenge, aside from cash flow and profitability and time, probably, is their people, managing their people, making sure they stay within the guidelines and out of legal trouble when
Right.
it comes to that. So I can see a great deal why they would need you for something like that. So things have been crazy for business owners, especially small business owners, over the past several months with what's going on with COVID and the pandemic. What are you hearing are the challenges and struggles that you're working with your clients with right now?
Sure. So when the pandemic first hit in early March, the number one struggle was cash flow, and it was fear. Most of, if not all of my clients were concerned about cash flow and fear. And I think as the businesses realized that there were government support, whether it's through the PPP loans or the EIDL loans, the Paycheck Protection Program and the Emergency Injury Disaster loans. Once that money came available, a lot of businesses were able to reach out to that and be able to tie over with their cash flow. The next layer of issues after they got past cash flow and fear was people getting sick. And so they were concerned again, cash flow and people. So if you don't have any money to run the business goes out of business. If you don't have any people to run the business doesn't exist either. They were concerned mostly about how to upgrade and update their policies for health and safety, but also for sick leave, from everything from how do we decide when we can actually meet together? Are we essential businesses? So initially it was, can you help us get these loans? And then it was, can you help us reopen? Or if we have to work remotely, how do we do all that legally? Since then, now that we are actually more comfortable with that, it's been strategic moves. So we basically lost 6 months. Most businesses were not strategic planning. They didn't have their big goals and strategies and 5-year plans in place. They kind of ditched all that, went into survival mode for 6 months. Now that they're kind of coming out of it, we're back into what are we going to do for the last quarter of 2020? What are we going to do for 2021? How do we bring that legal and business and other advice to the table so that we know how to grow the business instead of just surviving? So right now, a lot of businesses that are in good shape are looking to acquire more assets or acquire more personnel. There's a lot of assets and personnel available right now. And so that's one of the strategic moves that certain companies are making. Others that can't survive are either looking to restructure their business or pivot into a new business. And so those are the type of major issues that are taking place right now.
So those are a lot of challenges that small business owners have been facing over the past few months and currently as our economy starts opening back up again. And you bring up the whole strategic planning idea. And as we're going into the fourth quarter, starting in a few days, I'm hearing some of the same things too, that, business owners are starting to look at, how do I try to end strong and plan for having a better 2021 going forward? So I think strategic planning is really key at this point in time for small business owners. What other guidance or advice do you have for small business owners right now going forward from a legal perspective that might help them be as successful as possible?
So I think for my clients, they've all been well trained. And so if I were to tell my clients this, they would say, oh, I already know that. But most business owners that don't have a regular legal advisor look at legal advisors kind of like heart surgeons. I don't need a heart surgeon unless I have a heart attack. So if you say, oh, I have a lawyer, they assume, did you do something wrong? Did you have a heart attack? Is that why you went to the doctor? But the regular practice, the best practice is to have a regular doctor that you see regularly. Same with an attorney, same with your CPA, same with your business advisor. My best advice for small and medium-sized businesses is to have regular practices and regular advisors so that there's not a rush, there's not an emergency, there's not something that catches you off guard. And then you end up having to bet the company to save the company because of some type of action or some type of mistake that happened that could cause you to lose the business. That's the worst case scenario. The next worst case scenario is what we're going through right now, which is an event you can't control, right? So pandemic, a hurricane, how do I get prepared for those? Having a good board and advisory group around you to help you prepare for those things, putting in the right people, having a strong budget, having good cash flow and reserves, but more importantly, having a system and process that allows you to grow. So strategically, when you're trying to find a way to grow your business to the next level, you're not running into these ceilings and these walls because you have people around you to help you take it to the next level. There's often spoken about a visible ceiling for small business owners and middle-sized companies that can't get to the next level because they've maxed out what they can do by themselves, with their family, or the people they have. And that's what I think is most important for small and medium-sized businesses to realize. If they want to grow at some point, they're going to need help. And putting that help around you as a regular practice is the best that you can do.
I would wholeheartedly agree with you to have that team of experts around you that you already have a strong relationship with, and that if you've got a question, you can reach out to them, get their guidance, get their help, instead of waiting for an emergency.
Right.
And then you've got to scramble to find somebody, and you may not have a relationship with somebody that can help you. Having that ongoing relationship, I think, is really helpful.
Yeah, so during the pandemic, everybody realized having a good relationship with your banker was important. And a lot of these businesses did not have a good relationship with their banker. And so they did not get in line, or they weren't lucky enough to obtain financing from the government. So that's an easy example. The other examples are obvious and we've already discussed them, but that would be my first piece of advice I would give to small, medium-sized businesses that are looking to grow.
Terrific advice. So if somebody were interested in working with you or consulting with you, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
So unlike most lawyers, I don't charge anything to talk to me. In fact, I talk to a lot of folks and advise a lot of folks absolutely for free. I'm easily reached by phone, in the office, unfortunately by the mobile phone sometimes, but email, text messages, you'll see me on the web a lot. So Network in Action has a website that has all my contact information. If you need my phone number, it's 832-390-2237 is the office. My mobile number is 281-989-0099. I've got a myriad of email addresses for the firm. It's jtung, Jtung, at Grable Martin, GRABLEMARTIN.com. If you don't like all those letters, you can just email me at joseph@tung.com and it'll come to me as well.
Terrific. So if you are a small to mid-sized business owner and you are looking for a great business attorney who can help you with any aspect of your business, Joseph has been practicing business law for years and years and years. He is great at what he does. He is looking to build long-term relationships with his clients, not just make the quick buck like a lot of attorneys are. So I highly recommend Joseph. If you need some legal guidance for your business, please reach out to him.
Thank you, Kathy.